As you know, we humans love a good story. We tell stories around campfires, share them at gatherings, and even spend hours glued to screens watching fictional characters come to life. And when these stories involve larger-than-life figures from history, they become even more captivating. Today, we will look at 4 historical people whose stories have been elevated to mythical proportions, each embodying unique traits that have immortalized them in our collective imagination. 1. Alexander the Great, god of war, invincibility, and chivalry. Alexander the Great, the Macedonian leader who conquered most of the known world in his time, is not just a historical figure. He is also a legendary hero around whom many supernatural stories are woven. Divine lineage. One of the most famous myths about him is that he was not only the son of Philip II of Macedon, but also of Zeus, the chief of the Greek gods. His mother, Olympias, was said to have conceived him after Zeus visited her in the form of a serpent. This myth gave Alexander an aura of divinity and made his soldiers believe he was invincible and that the gods were on his side. The Gordian Knot. The story of the Gordian Knot is one of the most famous tales that highlights Alexander's intelligence and cunning. An ancient chariot in Phrygia was tied in a knot so complex that it was said that whoever untied it would become the ruler of Asia. When no one could untie the knot, Alexander simply cut it with his sword, thus fulfilling his own interpretation of the prophecy. This story symbolizes his ability to think outside the box and make decisions. His encounter with the Amazons. There are also stories about Alexander's encounter with the Amazons, the legendary warrior women. It is said that he met their queen, Thalestris, who came to him to ask for a child, as he was the greatest warrior in the world. This story, although more of a fantasy, adds a romantic and exciting dimension to his adventures. His search for the fountain of youth, immortality. Some myths associate Alexander with his search for the fountain of life or immortality, or even his quest to reach the farthest reaches of the earth. These stories reflect his boundless ambition and desire to transcend human limitations. 2. Cleopatra VII, goddess of the Nile, allure and power, the Egyptian queen. Cleopatra was not only the last pharaoh of Egypt, she was also an iconic figure associated with captivating beauty, sharp intelligence, and the ability to use her charisma to further her political interests. Her extraordinary beauty, although historical records indicate that she wasn't necessarily beautiful by classical standards, she had a distinctive nose and a strong chin. Legends describe her as a woman of striking beauty and unparalleled powers of seduction. She was said to have used luxurious perfume oils, elaborate makeup, and her captivating voice to captivate powerful men like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. The milk bath. One of the most famous myths about her is that she bathed in donkey's milk to keep her skin soft and supple. This story symbolizes her luxury and her search for unconventional ways to maintain her beauty. Her charm and power. Legends portray her as a sorceress who knew the secrets of herbs and potions, and she used this knowledge to influence those around her. She possessed a keen intelligence, spoke several languages, and knew how to manipulate politics and diplomacy to Egypt's advantage. Her rendezvous with Caesar. The story of her entering Julius Caesar's presence wrapped in a Persian carpet to present herself to him is one of the stories that highlights her courage and cunning and how she was willing to take risks to achieve her goals. 3. King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Divine kingship, chivalry, and the enchanted otherworld. King Arthur is a legendary figure par excellence, symbolizing chivalry, honor, the pursuit of justice, and high ideals. His deeds and those of his knights are celebrated in countless stories that have captured the human imagination for centuries. The Sword in the Stone. The most famous story about Arthur is how he obtained the sword, Excalibur, or the sword in the stone, though there are variations in the stories. It was said that the sword was embedded in a rock, and whoever could draw it would be the rightful king of Britain. Arthur, who was just a boy, easily drew it, thus proving his right to the throne. This story emphasizes that destiny chooses him, not physical strength alone. Merlin the Magician. Merlin, the wise magician and legendary mentor of Arthur, is a central figure in Arthurian legends. Merlin possessed immense magical powers, the ability to predict the future, and superior intelligence. He was the mastermind behind Arthur's ascension to the throne, advising and protecting him. The Round Table. The Round Table was a symbol of equality among Arthur's knights, as there was no head of the table, meaning all knights were equal in honor and status. This table was the focus of stories of courage, loyalty, and sacrifice in their pursuit of justice and the protection of the kingdom. The quest for the Holy Grail. The quest for the Holy Grail is the culmination of Arthurian legends, as knights set out on a dangerous quest to find the chalice said to contain the blood of Christ. This story symbolizes the search for spiritual salvation, purity, and the challenges of faith. The betrayal of Lancelot and Guinevere. A dark and poignant aspect of Arthurian legends is the story of the betrayal between his best knight Lancelot and Arthur's queen, Guinevere. This betrayal led to the dissolution of the Round Table and the fall of Arthur's kingdom, demonstrating that even the greatest kingdoms can collapse due to human conflict. 4. Leonardo da Vinci, god of art, invention, and mystery. Leonardo da Vinci, the Italian artist, engineer, and scientist, was a mysterious and inspiring figure of the Renaissance. His genius knew no bounds, and many believed he possessed otherworldly abilities that set him apart from ordinary mortals. Mysterious drawings and upside-down manuscripts. One of the most famous myths about him is that he wrote his notes and drawings in mirror writing, from right to left, making them difficult to read except when reflected in a mirror. This led some to believe that he was trying to hide his secrets, or that he was part of a secret society. In reality, this may simply have been because he was left-handed, and this method was easier for him to write without smearing the ink. The third eye and superhuman abilities. Some modern myths portray Da Vinci as someone with a third eye or superhuman visual abilities, enabling him to see things in a way others cannot. This explains his genius in art, anatomy, and mechanics. The secret of Mona Lisa's smile. Mona Lisa's famous smile is the subject of many theories and myths. Is she smiling? Is she not smiling? Was she pregnant? Is it actually a self-portrait of Da Vinci himself? These speculations add a layer of mystery and allure to the painting and the artist. His inventions were ahead of their time. Da Vinci drew plans for flying machines, tanks, submarines, and other inventions that weren't implemented until centuries later. These schemes led some to believe that he was from the future or possessed supernatural knowledge. The circular logo, Journey Through Ages, Treasures and Tales, features a circular wooden design surrounded by an engraved frame. In the center is an open wooden treasure chest, from which a bright golden glow emanates, symbolizing discovery and knowledge.